Konosuke Matsushita is a very famous and respected person in Japan, and he created Panasonic, but at the beginning was an apprentice at the age 9 or something, and sweeping the floor and clean dishes and all that. Eventually, he found a way without much education to be a great manager, but also get involved in the political scene too, starting a school. I want to talk about him because his activities kind of resonate from the way of Zen, which emphasize for us to live in the now, do one thing at a time, but at the same time be compassionate and have wisdom to contribute to the society. I don't think Matsushita did Zen and meditation, but his work and what he's written many books indicate that he has a profound knowledge, even writing a book, opening up the path to the future, and man and the universe, something like that. Talking about Zen, Daisuke Suzuki said kind of similar thing, that the purpose of Zen is to know the principle of the universe. And I want to talk about, therefore, Matsushita, Zen, and AI. They all have something in common. In fact, my books have something common with those ideas, and even what's going on the political scenes for the Kamala Harris, talking about going beyond the boundaries and empowering people, have ownership and accountability for each take action for the common goal. Of course, AI coined the collection of the wisdom from all the information available from the net, and have that like a huge database and synthesize those information to come up with any answer that we can ask. In living life, we have to respond to any situation that changes from what we have, but if we just use our concept and respond, to me that's too mechanical. Ideally, we go into the depth of our unconscious, where all the knowledge and experience, those are stored. We may not notice it, but just like a dream may bring out some unknown stories from unknown source of information, there's the synthesis that happens for the dream to manifest. It is like if you have a problem, our mind tries to solve the problem without our thinking or be aware, but while you're asleep. And the Zen meditation and samadhi, which is basically no mind and no self, is also similar, that we don't use a shallow part of the brain as much as AI go to deep learning. When we are in samadhi, we don't think, and there's no ego, there's no boundary. The brain is connected to the heart and the body. So there's no boundary, and there's a way things synthesize by itself. To me, it's like a nature's way of all living beings, from the plants, trees, leaves, animals. They all have some way of responding to the needs at every moment, doing their best. And of course, we can do that too. And the Zen and AI, it's similar in that sense. To have a question in front of you, and what do you do? That's always the way of our life too, not just in the brain. And what's funny, in my view, is that if you cut the finger, it will solve the problem or try to solve it. So there's a stimulus and a response that's natural, that happens in us. But also we use the stimulus and response in our brain. But there are two dimensions that if we just occupy it in our mind, we don't utilize the deep learning part of the AI kind of a story. So if I tie into Matsushita's story, he's learning and cleaning toilet and dishes, and he has a story of that. We have the mat in the tatami room, the Japanese room. I didn't know that there's a front and back. We just sit on it. But those details, information he captured. So his approach has been very bottom-up, doing the right thing at each moment, and then start to connect, bring out the wisdom to the point of inventing some idea to start a company. And the company grew into one of the top well-known companies in Japan. Not stopping there, he written lots of books, and when you read it, but just think about Mr. Nakayama too, who is my mentor, and I spent 15 years or so meeting together. And he's into Zen, but from physics background. And he wrote a book called Matsushita's Intuition. And he's explaining how he manages people as if he's got this intuitive sense, and where it comes is, like I mentioned everywhere, samadhi and panya, or in my word, listen to your heart and live with the mission. So Matsushita, like that, and Zen has the principal way, and there's a nature as the base of how it manifests. And what's interesting is that it's such a complex, in a way, connected to each other. Everything is connected to each other. And there's a way of manifesting the wisdom of nature, as in the case of the worms, trees, and the humans, and the similar approaches being processed by AI. So if I look at this whole situation, the future of humanity is a lot to be expected. We often have this narrow-mindedness and don't see the other person's perspective, self-centered. But that connection with each other, we have the same principle working, so always beyond the narrow-mindedness and going over the bureaucracy, streamlining. In the process, there's pain, but with pain as a stimuli, you can find a solution. So I like to end this story by having a positive look at the world, the universe, and us. And we may go through difficulties, fightings, even killing each other. But there's a way, and I see that's the evolutionary process of human. Nothing is guaranteed because everybody's a part of the solution. You need to be involved for all beings to be happy. Thank you.